Everything is always working out. Well, it's always working out if you believe that to be the case. And I don't know about you, okay? But I am the type of person who can sometimes go down mental thought patterns, mental thought loops that are not exactly serving me. I want to welcome you all to another episode of the Reflection Hour with your host, Sydney. Today, I'm in something a little more casual, okay, than the last time. And honestly, it is so hot outside. I live in New York. I don't know where you live. I don't really care. I mean, maybe tell me in the comments. That was kind of rude of me to say. But I mean, all I know is where I'm at right now. And where I'm at is hot as hell. Okay. And I'm kind of happy about this because I do live for the summer. I will say though, one thing I don't like about the summer is that it's really hot all the time. And the only way you can really escape the summer is if you're in a body of water or you're in air conditioning. Side note, I don't know if any of you guys have been seeing some of the videos from the World Cup. It has been bringing me so much joy because so many of these Europeans who literally thought America was a terrible place because of all the propaganda that they're seeing on their side of the world has framed America and Americans as terrible people. And let me rant for a sec because we're about to celebrate the 250th anniversary of America. And I think that's pretty wild, right? The founding fathers, they had a dream. They got some people together. They wrote a document and America was born. And America is still here 250 years later. Some people might say barely, but I think the ethos that created America is alive and well. And I have been to some other countries outside of the US. I've been to Canada, I've been to Mexico, I've been to Portugal, I've been to Spain, I've been to Italy, I've been to the UAE, I've been to the Netherlands, I've been to Jamaica, I've been to Costa Rica. Wow, I've been to a lot of places. I've been to Colombia, I've been to the Bahamas. Did I say Jamaica already? My mom's Jamaican. And in all honesty, there is nothing like America. Like, I truly love America. And I think there is just a spirit here that is infectious. You truly believe that you can do anything when you are an American. I mean, obviously, there's the whole are you around people who are negative Nancy's who don't think they can do anything? I mean, that exists everywhere, right? But if you really have a deep belief that you can do anything in this world, America is the place for you. And that's why so many immigrants immigrate to America. I mean, my mom was literally born in America, okay? She came here when she was 11 and she made a life for herself. My grandmother came here with her and her siblings, and they have created amazing lives for themselves that they likely wouldn't have been able to create in Jamaica. I remember, or not I remember because I wasn't born yet, I wasn't even a thought yet, but my great great grandpa, so my grandpa's dad on my dad's side, they immigrated to America through Ellis Island, okay, in the teens, in the 1910s. And they were coming from Barbados, and they decided to bet on America and do their thing. And their son was able to become a business owner and have a family and all that stuff, right? It's just so incredible what you can do in America. And it's truly unlike any other place in the world. And for its faults, I still love it. And I'm so proud to be an American. And I'm so proud that these Europeans and people who are from Asia, so the Japanese and some other countries, they are coming to America and they're like, wow, this place is awesome. They're experiencing our food, they're experiencing the people, and they're seeing how hospitable we are, how much we care about our fellow man. And that's amazing. I just wanted to start the podcast off with that because happy birthday, America. Happy freaking birthday, America. And on that, right, when our founding fathers came to America, they had some strong beliefs. They had a strong belief that it would work out. They believed that going to a new place, staking a flag on a foreign land. Obviously, there was some other stuff involved with that, but we're not going to get into that because I think when you think about any land, it's all been someone else's. Like, that's just the history of the world. It is what it is. But that being said, I do believe that it's really amazing that this country still stands 250 years later and that it is a beacon of hope for the rest of the world. And I think there has been so much that's come up against it. And I think there will continue to be people and regimes and whatever that come up against it. But at its core, America is based on a belief that if you believe that you can do anything, you can do anything. The fact that America even exists is crazy. It's crazy because most of the other places in the world, they were oligopolies, they were monarchies, they were oligarchies. Like, they were not based on the principles for which America was founded, which is that people can vote for their leaders and you have representatives in each of the different states. You have senators in each of the different states, and we elect these people as the people of those jurisdictions and decide who we want to represent us. And I think there's something really magical in that. I do believe that it has gone corrupt in a lot of ways, but again, the belief or the idea that started it all is what is alive in America. And the fact that we can even speak up and say, I do not fuck with this, like, what is going on? That is a privilege that many people in so many countries literally don't have. Like, if you were to go out in certain countries and say, I don't agree with what the president is doing, I don't agree with what my senator is doing, you would literally be killed. You would be killed. There are countries where you as a woman, or me as a woman, I could not wear this. If I wore this outside in certain countries, I would be killed. You know, there is so much freedom here and I'm so grateful for it. And I think it's so easy to take things for granted when you get used to it. But I think that's the worst mindset to have. The best mindset to have is to have an attitude of gratitude. Because when you have an attitude of gratitude, everything in life feels great, regardless of if you're going through challenges or whatever it is, you know, the vicissitudes of life. You can appreciate the little things. And I was talking about the weather earlier. I can appreciate the fact that it is even hot because I remember a few months ago when I was going through the worst winter I've experienced in probably a decade. And I was just thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for summer. Summer is going to be so hot. I'm going to be so ready for it after this winter that we've had. And that's exactly how I'm feeling. And when you can really be in the moment and you can be present, and you can be grateful for what you have right now, you start to realize that, hey, actually everything is always working out for me. I can focus on what I don't want, but what if I instead focus on what I do want? And what I do want is to feel good, is to know that all of the things in my life are lining up for me to work out. And last night I had a moment because I think a lot of times I really idealize things, whether it's people, places, or things. I create a story around them and I'm a bit delusional when it comes to that. And I think there's something that's really great about that. I think the downside of delusions at times is that you can get really caught up in them and not look at what is going on right now when it comes to what is being presented to you. And it's not to say that things can't change and like circumstances matter, because I think circumstances ultimately don't matter, but you have to be real with yourself, right? Are you trying to fit yourself into a place that doesn't fit? Are you trying to fit yourself with people who don't really fit you? And if you are, I think that's where the delusion can lead you astray. I remember when I was traveling around in San Francisco And I really wanted things to work. I really, really wanted things to work. And I was doing everything that I could. But I think on a core identity level, I didn't truly believe that I was worthy of what I was asking for. I also know that I had a lot of habits that were working against me that were making my ideal reality very far away from me. Okay. And I think you have to get honest with yourself when it comes to the beliefs that you hold, the patterns that you've been holding on to, and whether or not they're actually serving you. And I think it's easy to say, oh my gosh, I'm delusional. It's going to work. It's going to work. But if you don't actually get to the root of what those subconscious beliefs are, it's going to be hard for those things to truly work out for you, because you are going to be walking in the direction of those things happening. And then something's going to come out of left field that was really based on a belief that you have lodged inside of your subconscious mind that maybe you are resisting dealing with, really. And you have to deal with your shit. You have to deal with your shit. If you don't want to deal with your shit, then you can't expect for your shit not to come up again at the time that's most inconvenient. And that's exactly what happened to me. I would be good for a little while, and then it's like I would hit a point and then shit would blow up in my face because I didn't want to go deep. I wanted to do the affirmations. Oh my God, yay! Life is so amazing. Everything is so always working out for me. But it's like, if you looked at my actions, I was actively self-sabotaging, okay? I was actively doing things that would actually create the opposite reality of everything that I was doing. And yet I was telling myself everything is always working out for me. And I think the reason why I named the episode this is because, yes, everything is always working out for you, but are you being real with yourself about the actions that you're taking and where those actions are actually leading you? If you are consistently taking the same actions that got you to a place where you don't want to be, but you're telling yourself that everything is always working out for you, you are literally lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. And I've been there. I know what that feels like. It's not fun. It's not ideal. But if I were to sit here and tell you, it'll be fine, you don't have to change anything, all you have to do is affirmations, I would be lying to you, because I've done it and it doesn't do anything. And I've just been noticing a lot of my habits change lately. And I think that's why I resonate so much with the fact that everything is always working out for me, because when I look at what I do on a daily basis, I literally used to come home from work and I would smoke weed every day. If I wasn't smoking weed every day, I would have a drink, because why not? It doesn't even matter. I'm just having a drink after work. Who cares? And it's not that I was ever an alcoholic. I would never say that. But if you're drinking 3 to 4 times a week, vibing, having a good time, think about the money that you're spending on that habit. Think about the mindset that you're in if you have that habit. Think about the people that you're around when you have those habits, okay? And the type of people who have those habits. If you want to get somewhere in your life, you have to be very disciplined. And discipline really starts with the thoughts that you think in your mind, as well as the little things. So one of the things I really like to do now is I don't like to eat out for lunch, okay? At work, I bring my food to work. You know why I bring my food to work? Because I don't want to pay for lunch, because I think it's a stupid thing to spend money on. Half the time, whenever I have lunch, when I'm out at work or whatever, I don't even enjoy it. And the reason I don't enjoy it is because it's always those fast casual places like a salad spot or Chipotle or Cava or Dig In. And a lot of times I'm like, I could get these materials and make something, and it will be way better and it'll last way longer than just one meal. And I can't really justify in my mind these days spending money on that. It feels like such a waste of money, especially when I know I would rather go out to dinner once a week and have a really nice dinner with a friend or my family members, as opposed to going out to lunch every single day, not knowing what's going on in my food or what's going in my food, and then feeling kind of not upset, but disappointed by the fact that I don't even really like the food that much. I know I could make something way better. I know I could make a sandwich at home and take it with me, and that will be way better than me going out to lunch, you know? And then I also rack up the money in my mind, and I'm like, it is so much better for me to bring my lunch. I'm also thinking more so about my long-term goals and what I want to do and how I want to spend my time and where I want to move to and the types of activities that I want to be doing. And when you think about that and you put your life in perspective and you make decisions, okay, and you get real with yourself about the fact that, hey, maybe you have to limit your spending in one area so that you can increase your spending in another area. And maybe you have to spend your time more wisely so that you can actually create additional income sources for yourself. And I think one of the ways in which I've been super disciplined is with this podcast. For the past 2 months, I've been super consistent in posting a new one every single week. And while that may not be giving me anything monetarily just yet, I know that when I invest in myself, that investment will at some point invest back in me. And you have to have a long-term mindset when it comes to everything that you do. And I think that even more is why I truly believe everything is always working out for me, because I have the habits that are creating a future that is working out for me. I know that I'm not just bullshitting myself anymore. Another thing that I've been very consistent with is at night, I've been lifting weights for 10 to 15 minutes before I go to sleep. And you might be saying, oh, wow, that's not that long. It's only 10 to 15 minutes. But that's also the point. It's only 10 to 15 minutes. I could very easily not do it, but I'm choosing to do it. And before, when I worked at SoulCycle, I was very intense when it came to doing that workout 4 to 5 times a week. And I mean, it made sense. The reason why I did it was because I did that instead of taking a lunch break. I would eat my lunch in between looking at stuff on the computer at work. And then for my hour lunch, I would go take a class, shower, and come back. And I really liked that. But the more that I think about it, the more that I realize my nervous system was so out of whack. And I know a lot of people talk about that today, but my nervous system was so crazy because I was getting up at a different time every single day. And some of those days I had to get up super early. And when you don't have a real consistent wake up time, it really impacts your nervous system because it can't really reach a place of homeostasis because every single day you're shocking it with a new time that you have to wake up. And then I was also doing this high intensity workout. So obviously I was crazy. And I noticed that I was definitely drinking more, smoking weed more, because I just wasn't in a good place. And ever since I got this new job, a lot of those habits, most, have really fallen away. I don't desire to do a high intensity workout anymore. I don't desire to drink often. I don't desire to smoke weed. It's just been a really nice change. I've also noticed that I have more of a routine in the morning in the evening because my body can predict, okay, we're going to wake up at 7 a.m. or we're going to wake up at 6:30 a.m. and we're going to do a meditation for 15 minutes. Then we're going to do some writing. Maybe we'll do some reading depending on if I have to be there earlier or later. And then I'm going to make myself some breakfast and make my lunch. And then I'm going to go to work. And it's a really, really nice schedule, routine that I have. And I feel so much more grounded in that. And I'm so incredibly grateful for that. And it's so interesting because I think a lot of times when we imagine our lives, we don't really think about how far we've come. We immediately start to think about what we don't like in our present life and we don't realize how earlier, right? It could be years earlier, it could be months earlier. We were wishing to be exactly where we are right now. And when I was at SoulCycle, I was wishing to be in a position where I was making really great money for myself and I could have a consistent schedule and I was close to work and all this stuff. And now I'm living in that prayer and I'm so grateful for it. And this is, again, why I know that everything is always working out for me. Just like everything is always working out for you if you will allow it to work out for you. And I think the biggest impediment to our lives working out for us is literally how we perceive ourselves and the beliefs that we hold about ourselves. And when you can dive deep into what was it that caused you to believe whatever it is that you believe about yourself? And is it truly serving you? When you can get real with yourself about that, and I think a lot of times that can take time. Like, I don't think any change happens overnight. I think the change that happens overnight is something that has been gradually happening throughout the years. And then it all comes to a head and it's like, oh my God, viral account, but you've been putting in the work for so many years and people don't see that. They only see that viral moment where they're like, oh my God, this person pops out of nowhere. This person popped out of nowhere to you, but this person has been working hard, okay, on themselves, on their dreams, on their beliefs. And that's why you should never give up on yourself. Giving up on yourself is not an option. I mean, it is an option, but it should never be an option because you deserve more than that. We all deserve more than that. I'm so happy that I never gave up on myself and I never will give up on myself. I just am not that type of person. And I'm really grateful for that. And there have been so many seasons in my life where it felt like everything in my reality was telling me to give up. Everything, everyone, every situation was just like, how can I just shoot you down? How can I get this person to stop? How can I get this person to give up? But I never did. And I never will. It's only made me a stronger person. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I really enjoy watching those tarot card readings. I probably watch them every day. I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not even going to lie to you. And one of the things I like about them is that sometimes they really do give you a nugget of wisdom. And I was watching one today or listening to one today. And in it, the reader was talking about how, yeah, you're going to get what you want because you just don't give up. Like, you have been put through the ringer and it's almost a psychotic thing that you didn't give up. And I feel that way about myself a lot of times. I'm like, wow, I'm like low-key a psycho. Like, I'm a psycho, the fact that I have never given up on myself. With all the things that have happened in my life, and I'm not going to go into the details right now because I don't really think it's necessary. I'm sure you'll hear it throughout this podcast if you listen to it enough. But I've just been through a lot of shit with people, with friends, with family, with jobs, and I've never given up. I've never given up, and I never will give up. And people have literally like looked at me in my face. I had a boss actually when I was in San Francisco, and I basically like made a mistake or something. I don't even know what it was, but he was like, "Are you stupid?" Like, looked me dead in my face and said, "Are you stupid?" And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy that you said that to me and I work for you. Like, that's fucking insane. And I think at one point he was like, like, he was really mad because basically I was working for him, and I think I'm the type of person who naturally shines, and we were working in a co-working space, and I guess he realized that people really fucked with me, right? Like, people really fucked with my energy. People really enjoyed me as a person, and he needed people to grovel at his feet. And I kind of was starting to see through the fact that this guy was a bit of an egomaniac, and he wanted everybody to grovel at his feet. And I basically like started to go my own way, and I was trying to obviously do what I need to do for the company, but I was like, hey, like, you asked me to become a part of your company because you wanted to go about things in a new way, you wanted fresh ideas, and you're telling me to do this thing. I'm doing it, but also I have this idea for how we could possibly get new clients. What if I went to this what's it called, like this blockchain event or some sort of event? It was like some sort of conference that they didn't have to pay for as a company. I got a free ticket. I had a free ride. I literally was just going to be gone 2 days, and then I was going to come back. And because I guess it wasn't this guy's idea, he was really upset with me, and essentially said I was going to amount to nothing in my life and all this other bullshit. It was just really stupid. Like, I was also taking meetings with like venture capitalists and trying to think of creative ways to get clients for this design business, because it's like, it's all about relationships. It's all about forming those relationships, meeting new people, and meeting people who are connectors, who know a lot of businesses who could use your services. And they were just not having it, or he was not having it. And you know what? God bless him. I wish him the best. It is what it is. It wasn't a fit. You move on, right? And I can be honest and say that I was earlier in my career, for sure, like really early in my career, and I had a bit of an ego. I for sure had a bit of an ego, and I was trying to do it my way, and I didn't even know the right way to do it yet. Like, I can look back and say that. And I also believe that was a reflection of where my mindset was at the time and what I believed I was worth. And in all honesty, I had very low self-esteem at that time. I thought very little of myself. And I had that experience with that job, with that boss, that reflected that back to me. And I was able to overcome that. And I'm here today. I have been creating videos since 2020. And I remember when I first turned on the camera and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what am I even doing? I look back at some of my old content, and I don't have it posted online. Let me be honest about that. But I look back at some of that and I'm like, wow, I cannot believe how different I seem from then. It is the craziest thing to create content because it's truly a video capsule of yourself. And you can see how you change throughout the years. And I think at one point, like, I truly believed that I was confident, that I could do this, that I could do that. But when I look at those videos and I hear my voice and I see how I was in the space of the video, how I wasn't taking up as much space as I do now, it is clear as day to me now that I am a completely different person now. I am way more confident now than I was ever in 2020. And it's really exciting because, again, everything is always working out for you. You just have to allow time to do its thing. And a lot of times we think we're ready for something, but we're really fucking not. Like, we're really not. And when I really think about when I was creating videos in 2020 and I was like, I'm going to go viral. I'm going to be a YouTuber. It's going to be so awesome. I'm super lit. This is all going to work out for me. And I had a video that went viral, and this video did cause my account to kind of go viral for a little bit, and I gained like thousands of subscribers. But the one thing that was annoying about it is that I created a piece of content that was politically charged, and because that video went viral, now people were subscribed to me because they wanted to see political content, and that just really wasn't me. And I think that is the danger of virality. If you're not going viral for your personality and for something that you genuinely fuck with, it can become a curse. Like, you can feel like the only thing that you can create that people will actually fuck with is whatever thing that you went viral for. And I've learned this time and time again. I mean, I've had many videos go viral on TikTok at this point. I'm sure I'll have another video go viral again really soon. I wouldn't be surprised by that. And the reason that I know that is because it's just happened so many times. It's like pattern recognition. Once something happens once, you're like, oh, I could definitely recreate that. And I have done that. And I think that's the power in experiencing things. Once you experience them, you've already experienced them. But you can do that in your mind too. And that's one of the things that I've really been working on. And one of the things that I want to leverage more of, because the more that I can experience things, the more that you can experience things in your mind first, the more that you can experience it in your reality because you've already experienced it, right? And I think that's also the danger in that, because if you're constantly in your mind playing out these fear-based situations, at some point you will experience it in your life. And I think this happens to so many people, okay? So there's this metaphysician, her name is Florence Scovel Shinn, and she has this book called The Game of Life and How to Play It. She also has another book called The Secret Door to Success and some other ones that I'm blanking on right now. But her most popular one is definitely The Game of Life and How to Play It. And she talks a lot about how life is a game and you have to figure out how to play the game. And the best way to play the game is to literally flow with life and believe that everything is always working out for you. And one of the stories that is very prominent in my mind right now is how she was like handing out her book, or she saw some person on the street who was handing out pamphlets for some theater thing or whatever. And he turns to her and he's like, this is no job for a guy with ambition. And she's like, like, what do you mean? Like, she was intrigued, right? So she said, next time I see you, I'm going to bring you my book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. So she leaves the book and he is like, oh, that's stupid, whatever. But then he sees the title and he's like, oh, that's actually interesting. And she finds out that weeks later, after he had read the book, that he had expanded his life into another job, right? And it's just so interesting because when you realize that life is really all about moving forward, it's about the momentum that you have. And if you start getting the ball rolling in the right direction, you can truly go anywhere in your life. But you have to get the ball rolling. And that's exactly what I was saying when I mentioned that I continue to put in the actions that I know are going to get me to where I want to go. And if you do that, you have a positive mindset and you have the beliefs that are supportive of you getting to where you want to go, and you dispel the negative beliefs, you will get to where you want to go. It's inevitable. It's not even like you really have to try. The reason why people don't get to where they want to go is literally because they stop themselves from putting in the actions that will get them there. If you want to be a musician and you stop making music, but you're like, oh, I would love to be a musician, there's no way in hell you're going to be a musician because you're not making music consistently. Like, what else do you think is going to happen? If you want to be a doctor, but you stop going to school because, oh, it got really hard, I didn't get into the medical program that I wanted, so it just didn't make sense anymore, but you still want to be a doctor, you're not going to be a doctor because you're not putting in the actions to become a doctor. I could go on and give you many scenarios that illustrate the same thing, but ultimately, you have to believe in yourself and you have to put in the actions. If you continue to put in actions that you know aren't working, but you're hoping that something new will happen, you're insane, right? What is it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. You have to get real with yourself about what you're doing and what you're doing, or how what you're doing is creating what you're creating, you know? So it's just interesting. I think life is fun, and I think life is all about experiencing. But one of the things I don't want to do, I don't want Groundhog Day. I don't want to be experiencing the same thing over and over again that I know I don't like. If I know I don't like it, why am I going to continue to do the same things that are going to lead to the life I don't like? And that's what ultimately has really helped me to change a lot of my habits, because it's like, I've been through this cycle before. I know where this cycle leads. I don't want that cycle anymore. I want a new cycle. I want the start of a new cycle. If you know anything about tarot, the first deck in the card is the Fool, and the Fool starts a new journey. And I want a new journey. I want a new fucking journey. I've had way too many tower moments at this point in my life, and I don't want it anymore. I don't want it anymore. I don't deserve it anymore, but I have to believe that I don't deserve it anymore. I have to believe that I deserve better. You have to believe that you deserve better. And if you don't believe that, the only person who can change those beliefs is you. So you got to do something about it. And I think journaling has really, really been helping me. I think the meditations that I've been doing in the morning have really been helping me. I'm really grateful for that. I don't even know what made me start to do that again. I think it's a version of myself in the future, or maybe in an alternative universe that's like, girl, we have shit to do. Get to doing it. So I'm doing it. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying your day. I know I'm enjoying my day. I had a good day at work, as I usually do, because I get to wake up and be myself, and I have a pretty consistent schedule, which I'm very grateful for. I enjoy the people that I work with, and, I'm dealing with the public. I work in retail, so every day is a new day in a lot of ways. You never know what type of interactions you're going to have with people, and I like that. I like that because I think when life gets a bit too monotonous, it can make me go a little bit crazy, and I think part of that reason is because I am definitely a bit of a out there person. I have like a little bit of like ADHD, like autistic tendencies. I think I hyperfix on things. Although I kind of believe as well that maybe we like to attach to these labels too much. I'm just my own person. I like what I like. I enjoy talking. I enjoy being out there. I enjoy just interacting with the outside world. And again, I think this plays into the game of life and how to play it. The more that you can interact with your environment, I think the more that you learn about yourself. And I think at the core of it, I like learning more about myself. And I think people reflect you back to you, which is why I enjoy interfacing with the public. Now, you can't internalize any of that stuff because you will definitely go crazy. But I think whenever I have a moment with a customer and it's like a very annoying type of situation and I'm so calm, do you know how powerful I feel? I feel like an emotional master. And emotional mastery is truly the key to having a great life. If you can stay grounded in every single situation, you will be unstoppable. And I think a lot of people, we allow others to trigger us because we don't want to deal with those triggers. We have to deal with those triggers in order to get to a place of not being triggered. And maybe not being triggered isn't the word, but maybe regulating yourself enough, regulating your emotions enough to the point where even if you are triggered, you're triggered for like a split second, you take a deep breath and you return back to your baseline of, all right, so what are we doing next? And that's why, again, I like dealing with the public because I think it's a really great way for you to test your own level of emotional mastery because people will test you, babe. People will test you. Anyway, I think I'm really rambling on at this point. I think my major point is everything is always working out for you if you believe it. And if you are doing the things that spring from your belief that everything is working out for you, to allow everything to work out for you. So if you like this message, like, comment, subscribe, maybe share with a friend, and I will see you all in the next one.